Hello everyone, welcome back. This is the second part of a video series about creating a website monitoring service using Laravel. My name is Jose Garrido. I work at Dialogs, a web development company. And in the first part of this of this series, we created the basics of our application, all the components we needed to list websites and add websites to our application. And now in the second video, I want to start by adding some functionality to be able to edit these websites and then actually running the service, which will check if these URLs are up or down and update the status accordingly. So let's start by opening the view where we have this table and just add a new column at the end with some edit buttons to edit those websites. It's going to be the index view for websites. We just add here an empty, well, let's call it actions. And just duplicate this. We say edit. Let's see what it does. Yeah, let's do just edit for now. Let's not worry about delete. So this is pointing us to a new route called websites edit, passing the ID of the website, and it's just a blue button. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, the route doesn't exist, so let's go ahead and create that route. There we go. It's going to a class edit in the website controller. So there we have our link. It's not a button, it's a link. When we edit it, it's an error because we don't have the view, the function in the controller. Let's create a function. We receive the ID as a parameter from the path. We find that website or fail using the ID, and then we pass that to a new view called websites edit. And yeah, it's recommending us the usual cursor. It's recommending us creating a new function called update that will process the update itself. Yeah, so it receives the parameters and it updates the website and redirects to index. Perfect. So let's create that view now. It's under websites. First one is called edit. Well, the only one, as a matter of fact. So we extend the layout. Let's copy this section here. You know what? Let's copy everything from create. Let cursor do its magic, just replacing stuff. Yeah, it's putting the value here, the value here. Yep, we're missing this value for the URL. Yes, we're missing the names on the routes. Oh no, we're missing the update route, as a matter of fact. It's a put request to websites and the ID. Perfect. So let's call this dialogs edited, the URL dialogs2.com. Perfect, dialogs edited, dialogs2.com. So we have an edit action here. Now, for how do we actually check the status of a website? At the end of the day, we want to create a cron job that's going to run every minute to check the status of the website. And the easiest way to schedule the cron job is creating a command first. Let's read documentation about commands. Writing commands. So let's make a command. Let's give it a name. And this command will be called check websites. Just one word. Okay, created a command. And let me show you how it looks. So this command can be called directly from Artisan, from the CLI, and is the same command that can be called from the scheduler, Laravel scheduler, which is a cron job. It's right here, the description. Checks the status of all websites. And cursor doing its magic. Let's import website and the HTTP facade. And what the command is doing, there's a function called handle, which executes the command. We write here the instructions we want to run. And we are first getting all the websites in our database, looping through all of them. And for each one of them, we are making a GET request to the URL. And yeah, see, it's a good idea, but it's wrong. Like, we don't want to set in the status of the website the response from that GET. All we want to do is do a try. Okay, try this. Yeah, exactly. Try this. If it responds, then the status is up and we update the website. If there's an exception, then the status is down. But let's see, this will fail if there's a server. Well, it won't fail if there's a server error, or if this is like a 400 error, it might not throw an exception, but the GET request would fail. So let's do this. Let's save the response in this variable. Exactly. So if the response is successful, then the status is up. Otherwise, the status is down. And then we save it. So this will be a 200 response. Everything's okay. This would be any 400 type of response, or if the page gets moved, if it throws a 404, it's going to update the status to down. And if there's an exception, like a 500 error or something else occurred, it's also going to set it to down. All right, and this is the signature of the command. So we invoke the command by doing this. Done, it did it. There's no errors. So now we come here and we refresh. Dialogs 2 is down because that doesn't exist. I forgot to put it back. And clubhistory.com is up. So let's change this back to dialogs.com. Update. And then we run manually the command again. Check both websites. If I refresh, now it's up. Cool. So we have the command running. Now, the scheduler, Laravel scheduler, is how we are going to set the cron job. So, defining schedules, you may define all your scheduled tasks in your application routes console PHP. So in this file is where we have, first of all Laravel applications come with this example. It's just going to output every hour an inspiring quote. Let's actually comment this because we don't need it. And see, it's, again, cursor doing its magic. It understands what we're trying to do. it's going to run the command called check websites, which is this one. It has that signature. And it's going to call the class, and this is going to execute the handle function inside the class. And that's it, basically. And it's going to run, well, we need to tell it how often it needs to run, let's say every minute. So what I'm going to do is make this break, update, and update, so they go down. And I'm not going to run the command manually. We're going to wait for the scheduler to kick in, and it should update these statuses to down. But first, well, since this is not installed on a server yet, I'm not sure if we can set up the schedule. What we can do is run the scheduler. So first let's list the schedules. So we have our check websites every minute. This is using the cron job notation. Let's see, running the scheduler. Okay, all we have to do is the command schedule run. And what we do on the server, once we deploy this, is we add this line either to the cron tab on the server or through Laravel Forge, which we're going to be using. We write this line, and it basically adds the scheduled run command to the cron tab as a cron job. But here, to fake it, we can just run it. Again, these two are up because we haven't run the check website command. And as soon as I run the scheduler, it should update these two to down because those URLs don't exist. Okay, so it's running that, it ran it, and now they're both down. So if this was on a server, this would be running every minute, and just have to put this back to the correct URLs. And in a minute, when it runs again, they would update to up. So that's a bare bones, the basic version of the process. Of course, there's room for improvement, a lot of room for improvement, like setting timeouts if the page is too long, working with different protocols, checking for like the certificate and the notifications piece of this. Let's see if we can do that real quick here. Yeah, let's try to sneak that into this video. So let's see, Laravel Slack notifications. There we go, Spatsy, or however you pronounce their name. This has to be one of the best companies working with Laravel and producing Laravel libraries. They're awesome. Shout out to Spatsy. This is a library we install. Yeah, and it's very simple to send a message, a Slack message. So let's install it. Composer require. Then they have a config file where we need to add an env variable. Nope. Where's our env? Here it is. We just need to add a new variable. It's going to have our, I wonder what that webhook is for. Okay, so let's see, how do we get our webhook URL? First, need to create a Slack app. We have one for Club History. One from scratch. Let's call this website monitor. It's dialogues. So we've created our app. Good that these two are hidden so it doesn't show in the video. And all I need is what? Let's open this again. Incoming webhooks, activate incoming webhooks. There we go. Activate them. New webhook. And the channel is gonna be test webhooks. Okay. And here we have the URL. So we copy that URL, paste it here, and that'll be our, it's gonna post the messages to that Slack channel. I'm gonna show that window in a second once we have it working. And let's go back to the library. And basically how you send a message. So in our command here, it's where we need to do a couple more things. So if the response is downed, we want to send the alert. Wow, it already created the function. Get it from the env. No, we don't even need that. It's just this, and we import Slack alert. Yeah, no, it's not here. What's the name? The path. And that's the right path. Okay. And the message would be website is down. Okay. So this function will send the Slack alert to that hook that I created for the test webhook channel. And it's going to be sent every time this is down. And what I want to do is do it here, as a matter of fact, so we don't repeat the code. If the status is down, then send the alert. But only if like what I said in the previous video about not spamming the user if they already received that alert, right? So we need to do a couple more things. Let's view the migration here real quick. We need to update these two columns, last check at and last notified at. So let's do this. Yep, let's check at. And when we send the alert, let's do the last notified at. Okay. Now, we only want to send the alert. Yeah, just to keep it simple, this is crazy. It's exactly what I was thinking. Only send the alert if we haven't sent an alert in the last 5 minutes. So that's exactly what this is doing. It's checking when did we send the last alert for this website. And if it was more than 5 minutes ago, then it's going to send it. And once it sends it, it's going to set the last notified again. So we can start the loop in the next, when we run this again. Okay. So let's run the command or the scheduler. Okay. It ran. these two are up. Sometimes this happens, and when that happens, of the window, I have to restart the server. Yeah. Okay, so these two are up, and even if I check again, it's gonna do up. Oh, let's do one more thing now that we are messing with those timestamps. Let's add them to the table. So here, last check and last notified. Last check and last notified. Differ humans. Yeah, we don't need that. Okay. I think we can just not use this, right? Yeah. Okay, so we checked this last a minute ago. Let's break one of this. And let me open the test webhooks channel. Okay. Here's that Slack channel. And what I want to do is run the scheduler, and it should notify me in that Slack channel that club is raised down. So I'm gonna send it, and there we go. It sent us a notification that club is raised down. If we run it again, well, let's refresh here. It last notified us at 1945. It hasn't been 5 minutes, so it shouldn't notify us again if we run it again. So indeed, it didn't notify us, but it's going to update the last checked. Yes. So great. I think this is a good stopping point for the second video. So a quick recap of what we've accomplished. We added these columns to the table to see when a website was last checked, last notified. We also added an edit action to the sites so we can modify the name and the URL. Above that, we created a command that runs the actual checker or the monitor for the websites. We added that command to our scheduler, which is here, console. The command is on the scheduler and it runs every minute. When we deploy this to a server, we just need to run the scheduler, add the scheduler to the cron tab, and it'll run every minute. And lastly, we integrated Slack commands. So it's going to notify us via Slack when a website is down. Thank you for watching the video. Please leave a comment if you feel like we could have done this in a better way, any improvements, features, gotchas. We're all learning here. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next one. Goodbye.